Hey Australia, it's Lachlan here. Just wanted to say a big thank you to everyone who listened to our first episode. We had really good feedback and we're glad you enjoyed it. This year we'll be creating more weekly and bi-weekly episodes talking about money mindsets, wealth building strategies, things like how to buy a home, how to pay off your home, systemizing your finances, how to get invested so you can achieve your long-term goals, and so much more. And we'll soon start inviting others onto the show as well, so it won't just be the two of us. So with all that said, if you're wanting to invest in your finances this year, this is how you can do it. It's really simple. Just press the follow button and subscribe to Mind Over Money, wherever you're listening to this right now. Then join us each episode as we discuss these different topics and help you get clarity and confidence in your financial future. Lastly, if you have a topic or question you'd like us to discuss on the show, go to waymakerpodcast.com.au. That's waymakerpodcast.com.au, and you can share that link with a friend too so they can listen to the show as well. You're listening to Mind Over Money, presented by Waymaker. Well, welcome to Mind Over Money, presented by Waymaker. This is a podcast that helps Australians change their money mindsets so they can live a life of freedom, generosity, and joy. I'm Lachlan Nicolson, and I'm joined by Archie. G'day, Archie.
G'day, Lachlan. Great to be on the show again.
Yeah. So today we're hitting goal setting for 2022, start of the new year, and it's a great topic to kick things off. Let's start with, why is it important that we set goals, Archie?
It's important we set goals so that we can fight the good fight, that we can actually discuss things together and work out what's really important, because it's really hard to fight a good fight if you don't know what that goal is. So it'd be a bit like watching a tennis match where no one's going to be the winner, because it's just, if there's nothing set around the rules of engagement and how it should be, and people are just hitting the tennis ball backwards and forwards over a net. No one gets involved in that. But but when it's about winning that, winning that game, winning that set, then it's about winning the next match against the next opponent, and ultimately becoming the ultimate winner. Man, we can get really excited and really behind that, and you can see people really push through and hit a whole new level because of that.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. You must be watching the Australian Open this week. Did you catch any? Yeah, and setting goals, it's like having the discussion with ourselves. I was just working on some goals last week that I do every year, and just taking that time to really slow down, sit at the cafe, with my wife, and just over a coffee, talking about what it is we're going to focus on this year. And also our long-term goals, which go beyond this year. What do you think? That's the power, I guess, in working our goals with other people, right?
Oh, definitely. Look, the power in people is having 3 or 4 people looking at something together and discussing it. Because when we do it ourselves, no one else knows what's going on. No one can challenge us. Our mindset can be totally wrong, and we don't even know it. But, when we get another, 3 people involved and we're working things through together, especially if it's our partner, and then we've got, some other people we can do it together with that have the wisdom and the understanding around what we're looking at, then we've got that power of ability to see change and to set goals that can be realistic and achievable, and, and stop us dreaming about stuff that, we probably can't do. And it's good to have a team behind us, that people who are championing us and supporting us. That's really important.
Yeah, and it's important to have that agreement and alignment around something. Like you said, that's really powerful, and not having that can actually cause a lot of stress in relationships. Have you seen that before?
Oh, absolutely. I've actually seen the stress of not having an agreement around goals actually put people in hospital, because they get so stressed and so sick. and we've got research that backs that up, that people actually get sick from being stressed. And so not having an agreement between multiple people around what the goal is and what you're setting out to achieve can be a real problem. And especially because you start, second guessing, and you start, listening to all the noise, that's out there, and there's heaps of noise, and every day we're bombarded with noise, and we just don't even know what we're doing anymore.
Yeah.
And that can cause us a very large amount of stress. And yet when we get the agreement, man, we can push through, we can move mountains when we've got agreement, and, we're heading in the same direction, and we've got a long-term goal, long-term plan, that can make all the difference. And we can easily get, how would you put this? We can easily get frustrated when we see other people achieving things, but then we don't realize what they went through to achieve it. And we think it just happened, but it didn't just happen. There was a process happening. There was, work being done. There was, stress, but there was also push through. Yeah, there's a lot of power in agreement.
Yeah, my wife and I were down at Tasmania last year, and we were looking at these beautiful wineries. Gosh, they were just stunning. Everything from the hedges to the entire way the property was just developed. And you can just see that there's a lot of, like, generations of effort and sweat went into creating that great wine, and also the winery itself and the property itself.
Yeah. Well, farms and, wineries are classics of, some people setting goals, people setting out a long-term plan and then working towards that. And sometimes it can take generations to actually see the results. And a winery would be a classic. There can be generations of trying different grapes and, trying different soils and, working on the whole process of, developing the wine to, come out with something that's really spectacular. But you're not going to chase that spectacular unless you got agreement.
Yeah.
And that is the power of the goal, and the agreement is you're going to pursue it, and you're going to work on that thing. And you can't get 3 generations, pursuing a farm or pursuing a winery unless there's something that they're really going after.
So the goals have to be clear, and they have to be compelling. So you actually push through that noise. Yeah. And push through that pain to get to the goal.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's a lot of noise out there, a lot of things that are trying to distract us. How do we get past that using goals?
Yeah, to get past the noise, we need a long-term plan. If we go back to the farming analogy there, a farmer who, can see where the fences should be, the cattle they're going to run, or the crops they're going to grow, or the trees they're going to grow, and they can see where it's going to be and all the work that they've got to do to get there. That's a long-term plan. It's going to take them years, maybe even a lifetime, to get to where they want to go. And along the way, they're going to run into interest rate problems. They're going to run into, weather problems. They're going to run into pricing problems. There's just, life is going to happen. There's going to be a multitude of things that happen. Lots of noise, lots of distraction. But overarching long-term goal will keep them stable. It'll keep them pushing through. It'll keep them working when they want to give up. And that's just such a powerful thing, because there's nothing like getting there. Like when you push through the hard stuff and you actually get there, you can really, it's exhilarating to make that achievement. And look, in farming, as a classic, same in our lives, we celebrate those short-term victories because we know that we're still heading towards that big goal. The one that's going to take us a lifetime to get there. And that gives us a lot of stability. Yeah,
it's so much fun to create those milestones and then actually stop and celebrate those milestones along the way. There's something really powerful about that. And it makes life fun and exciting. You know that you're moving towards something. And that creates a lot of meaning, a deep sense of meaning in life. I think that's great, because putting that back into a context of where we are right now, like I live in a city, Brisbane, purchasing a house instead of a farm can also give us that long-term stability in paying it off. Although, like you said, there's so many distractions. Once we get the home, then, you've got people trying to sell you cars and try and sell you stuff for the home and do this and do that. And so we can get sort of taken away from paying off that home and be distracted by that. But we were talking before we just started recording, there was all this research that you were pulling up on nations where people who could buy and own their home were far better off.
Well, the thing that makes Australia so great is the ability to own your own home. And people owning their own home brings a lot of stability to the Australian economy, to the Australian way of life. And so, yeah, because of that research that shows how much improvement comes to a country through people owning their own home, that's why our government focuses on it. And that's why, we as Australians focus on it, because it's the basic building blocks of our economy and our way of life. And it gives us that freedom, that financial freedom that we're looking for. And so people will work jobs, will do what it takes to achieve that goal. But, if we feel like we can't achieve that goal and we give up, then what are we going to go after? What's going to give us stability in our life? Because owning a home is a long-term project.
Mm. And on that, would you encourage people this year that have that as part of their goals for buying a home in 2022 or 2023?
Yeah, don't be distracted by the noise. That's one of the keys here. I just spoke to someone recently who bought a home right at the beginning of COVID, and the person sold the home for much less than it was worth because they owned the home as an investment, and they got scared about what was happening with COVID and didn't stick to their plan and just dropped it on the market and sold it really quickly. And so they lost money. And our client, who was looking for a home at that time, picked up an absolute bargain. And the thing was, they could have gone the same way. They could have listened to the noise and gone, "Now's not the time to buy a home," and done nothing. But instead, they were successful. And the whole thing about goals is we want to be successful, and if we stick to the plan, we will be successful. So it's generating that plan and being able to stick to it.
What's the old saying? If you aim at nothing, you'll hit it every time.
Yeah.
I'm glad they stuck to the plan.
Yes.
That was a good win. So setting goals, what about for investing? We have to, whether it's buying a home or investing in the share market or funds or whatever, what are some of those good foundations that we need to set our goals upon?
Yeah, this is where it's crucial to have the right people helping you set goals, because and having that that agreement and conversations and really working things through. Like I don't see goals as something that we instantly have. Especially good long-term goals, they take time to develop, they take time to work through, and to get everyone agreeing and everyone seeing the same thing. So in the past, I've seen it take up to 4 years to actually see couples come to an agreement and actually get those goals set in place and really start to win. And I can see the difference in them. You start to see smiles on faces, and you start to see people relax, and you start to see that joy coming through, and it's worth the pain. It's really worth the pain to go through with that. And so here we need some expertise. We need some support in around things so that we're putting those things in place that we know work. So, we're wanting strategies that work. We're wanting, when it comes to investments, what are the investments that are stable, that are strategic, that we know we can win with? Whether we're earning $20,000 a year or $200,000 a year, what are those strategies that are going to get us to win? And, what are those investment strategies, the diversification, the types of companies we invest in? Where's the research? Where's all that good, solid foundation that ensures that we're making our goal based on something that's going to work? And that's really important, because again, the noise is going to be there. The slick sellers are going to be there. The instant gratification marketing is going to be there. and so we got to get past that noise, and that slick marketing,
especially around investing. There are so many new apps and ways to invest which are really more trading than investing. It's very short term focused, and there's a lot, and again it's very easy to pull your money out and so people are trading, getting in and getting out. And I mean, that creates a bit of a headache around things like capital gains and all of that, which some people don't even realize when they're doing this. But you ask them, well, what are you actually investing for? And it's really just to make some money. There's not really a long-term goal attached to that investment.
Yes.
We were talking before, we're looking at the research where people have those long-term goals and they invest to achieve those goals. So the goals determine what type of investment that they need to get long-term. Those people are far happier and actually achieve better results than people who have really a very vague goal of investing and it's very short term. And that's where they tend to chase the market and tend to go into those trading activities, not investment activities, which can leave them with significant losses. And also they may achieve that short-term goal, but it doesn't build long-term wealth, such as having a lucky punt on Bitcoin and taking the money out to buy a car, and you've maybe got a car you're driving around, but you're missing out on potentially millions in long-term wealth creation by investing longer term.
I'm really glad you brought that up, because there is millions of dollars at stake here. And, for many people, they don't think that's a reality, but it is a reality. But very few people achieve it. And the reason that people don't achieve it is because of what we're talking about right now. Setting the goals, working towards those goals, and having those long-term plans. Like the classic would be where someone has a goal to get married and, they put all their focus on that marriage and that wedding ceremony, and they can spend $100,000. But when it's over, all they've got left is the debt, or the money that they've spent and a one-day event. That's not something we build our life on. We build our life on our long-term plans, our long-term relationships. That's where we build our life, and that's where our freedom comes and our joy comes. And that's our goal here with this podcast, is getting those mindsets changed, getting rid of those assumptions that are holding us back. Because we've all got them. We've all got plenty of assumptions that need to go. and we'll get rid of those assumptions as we work through things.
I love that. That sounds good. And we'll have to do an episode just talking about long-term investing and the power of 30 and 40 years of long-term compounding investments, because we do get caught up on the 6 month, the 12 month, this short-term thinking. So we've got to have a conversation around that coming up soon.
Yeah.
Any final tips before we wrap up around goal setting, Arch?
Final tips would be avoid sensationalism that comes through media and people. This can really throw us. So the great thing about having a plan is we can stick to it. And those that stick to the plan, they're the ones that achieve their goals. They're the ones that have confidence in life. And I just want to encourage everyone with that. It's there for you. Every person, this is for you. That's
awesome. I love that. This has been a great chat. I think we'll leave it here. Before you go, check the show notes below to follow us on Instagram, Waymaker Finance, and our website, waym.com.au. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you again soon. See you, Archie.
Yeah, bye, Lachlan. Thanks, mate.
Hi, just a disclaimer here that everything we discussed today is not personal financial advice. It's just a conversation and for education purposes only. If you do want personal advice that's tailored to your financial situation, you should talk to a financial advisor or professional. We can recommend one if you like. Just head to waym.com.au or send us a message. Okay, see ya.